Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. It's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, this is ERGJ from ERGJ Enterprises back here with New Black Wall Street. We're looking at the week ahead in the market. So we want to kind of get an idea of what we want to be paying attention to. What's the big news? What's the big thing that's happening in the economy or in the market that may have an impact on the swing of the market? So number one, obviously, is this is Trump's first week. Yes, this is Trump's first week. So President Donald Trump is beginning his first week in office. He's promised sweeping reforms, including repealing of the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, as many of you know it, by reforming the country's trade practices, tax cuts, and infrastructure spending. Since many of Trump's policies are still undefined, it's not clear what the impact to the economy will be, but investors seem optimistic. Markets spiked on Friday following the inauguration, but the so-called Trump bump, that's interesting, has deflated since the election, with the Dow far away from hitting 20,000 points. So obviously this is Trump's first week, so we should be getting a lot of information coming in as it relates to, we already had the removal of the mortgage tax rate cuts. That was suspended indefinitely. So that's Trump. And Ben Carson, the director of the HUD, or the secretary of the Housing and Urban Development. So at any rate, some things that I got going on, or we got going on here at ERGJ.net or ERGJ Enterprises, you can go to ERGJ.net to make sure that you, if you are interested, you sign up for the investment session this week, where we're going to be talking about Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. All right, what else is going on this week? Samsung is in the news. Samsung faces the press on Monday morning in South Korea. Samsung will hold a press conference revealing what caused the Galaxy Note 7 to catch fire. So I don't know. Hopefully you guys don't have any that caught fire, but it's a result of months-long investigation conducted by the world's best-selling smartphone maker. So if they're having some issues with their devices, it's bad for Samsung, but it's good for possibly Apple. The news conference will mark the second time Samsung tried to explain what went wrong. The first time around, Samsung pointed the finger toward one of the battery suppliers. On Thursday, Samsung will release its fourth quarter and full year 2016 earnings. So not only is Samsung in the news as it relates to what happened with this Galaxy Note 7, but then also they got their earnings coming up this week as well. So this is a big week for Samsung. They got a lot of explaining to do. When you start having devices catch fire, a lot of lawsuits come through, a lot of stuff going on with them. Hey, what's Irvin? What a bad thing for a real estate investor? The mortgage rate cuts. I don't think it really has an impact on you as an investor. It's going to be, see, here's the thing, like nothing really has happened. If you think about it, right? So wherever we were before they decided to do the rate cuts, is the same place that we are right now. You know what I mean? So all they did was repeal something that never really happened in the first place. I mean, I guess it went into effect for a little while, but I don't really think that's going to really impact you as a real estate investor. Also in this week, a lot of earnings. So this is a big earnings week. So many of you guys that may already be investors, you're going to be paying attention to what's going on with maybe some of these companies that you might be investing in. A big week for earnings. So it's another big week of earnings as President Trump takes the reign of the country. Yahoo will be reporting. AT&T will be reporting this week. Alphabet or Google will be reporting. So it's a good time for us to be talking about Google. It's a week that they're reporting. Microsoft will be reporting. Starbucks, McDonald's, Boeing, Ford, and Samsung, we just mentioned, will report earnings this week. For some companies, reports will shine light on how robust the holiday shopping season was for them. For AT&T, investors will be listening for what's to come from its merger with CNN's parent company, Time Warner. And that's Time Warner Media, not Time Warner Cable. Trump has wavered on his support for the merger with AT&T CEO Randall Stephenson recently meeting with him, although the merger didn't come up. So AT&T, what happens is when they have their earnings, they have what they call earnings calls. So So if you are an investor with some of these companies, you can actually not even if you're not an investor, you can join in on their calls, particularly with those companies. So, you know, AT&T will have an investor earnings call, and they'll report their earnings to their investors, and they'll report their guidance as well. So these are all things that, as you become a shareholder or owner of some of these companies, you have access to hear from the CEO, to hear from the COO, and what their outlook is for the company moving forward. You don't know that as a consumer, but as an investor, you'll start to pay attention, especially to the companies that you are invested in or invested with. Also in the news, we got the first reading of the GDP on Friday. We'll see how healthy the U.S. economy is under Barack Obama's last few months and what the President Trump is inheriting. In the third quarter, the United States economy grew 3.2% according to the Bureau of Economic Analysts, boosted by consumer spending and exports led by soybeans. So we're going to hear what the gross domestic product, if it has continued to grow, and also what the outlook is for that. So that's really the health of, the United States economy. Coming this week as well, on Monday, starting tomorrow, people are going to start filing their taxes. So don't forget, if you have not got your stuff together, or maybe you're waiting on some paperwork to come from a job or something like that, tax season is here. So it begins on Monday. Most people can actually start filing their taxes. Again, we got earnings from Samsung on Tuesday, Boeing and AT&T on Wednesday, Microsoft Output, Ford, and Starbucks on Thursday, and the first reading of fourth quarter GDP on Friday. So again, we're having our investment session on Tuesday, and we're going to be discussing Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. And we see here that Google is actually going to be reporting on Thursday. So it's a good time for us to actually be having a conversation about these FANG stocks. And if you want to join in on that conversation, you want to have a seat at the table where we're talking about money, then you can do that by going to www.ergj.net and getting your seat at the table. We have to change the conversation at the kitchen table. We have to begin to start talking about money so that we can actually begin to understand money and this economic system for which we are in, which is called capitalism. If you're not going to be having a discussion, then how do you plan to capitalize on the market? How do you plan to capitalize or to make your dollar multiply if you don't begin to understand money? So anyway, this is ERGJ from ERGJ Enterprises with your week ahead in the market from New Black Wall Street. Have a great day, guys.
The New Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there in the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.